I was wondering when the next Triple P was going to come, and it came a lot sooner than I thought from the last one. But this one I'm actually very, very, very glad to speak on. So, as y'all know, this is that POS Travis McMichael, one of the three individuals who was involved with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Now, the last time we talked about the McMichaels and that other guy, I always forget his name, but to be honest, it's forgettable. They were sentenced to a life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Well, at least Travis McMichael and his father, Gregory McMichael. And the other guy, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a possibility of parole after, I believe, 40 something odd years. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think he's going to make it to them 40 years. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. And if he does, he'll be too old and decrepit anyway. But the reason why I'm coming on here today is because I have more wonderful news involving Travis McMichael and hopefully good news surrounding the other two. Travis McMichael has been sentenced to a second life sentencing with his involvement with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. But trust me, as I start to read more into this article, it's some more things in there that actually makes this second one even better than the first one. The man who fatally shot Ahmaud Arbery, a 25-year-old black man jogging through his Georgia neighborhood in 2020, was sentenced again to life in prison on federal hate crime charges. So the first time, those were just the regular standard charges right there of the murder charges that they had. This is the hate crime charges right here. And I told people, I said, if they got them for the life imprisonment for the first time, the hate crime charges was going to drop right along with it. Travis McMichael, age 36, who fatally shot Arbery, was sentenced Monday to life plus 10 years in prison. Travis, his father, Gregory McMichael, age 66, and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryant, age 52, were convicted of murder in a state trial last November and sentenced to life in prison, with both McMichaels denied the possibility of parole. In February, the three white men were all found guilty of violating Arbery's rights and targeting him because of his race when they confronted him in February 2020 while he was on a run through their coastal Georgia neighborhood. The men chased Arbery through their neighborhood in trucks, and when they cornered him, Travis McMichael fatally shot him with a shotgun, and Bryant filmed the deathly encounter using his cell phone. They were only arrested months later after footage from the shooting garnered national attention. U.S. District Court Judge Lisa Godby Wood will decide later Monday whether Gregory McMichael and Brian will face an additional life sentence. And by the way, if I get wind of them actually getting additional time like he is, I'm going to come on here and do another Triple P. I just wanted to keep them separate, more content from the channel. The judge on Monday also said, now here's where it gets even more interesting, that Travis McMichael would have to serve his sentence in a state prison instead of the federal prison his attorneys requested. Now, this is what makes this even better, because in case y'all are unaware, state prisons are literally what they are, governed by the state, which means it's not on federal grounds where it's more secure. Federal prisons are more secure and is more security based. State prisons, however, where the hardened criminals go, is basically the equivalent of going to Gen Pop. They're less secure. So he's going to have quite a very interesting time where he's headed. And I hope they send him to one of the most harshest prisons that they can find. During the federal hate crimes trial, the jury was presented with dozens of text messages and social media posts from Travis McMichael and Brian, who both used racial slurs and frequently made derogatory comments about black people. Investigators were unable to access Greg McMichael's cell phone records because of phone encryption, but found some Facebook posts, including a status he wrote saying that a gun in hand is worth more than an entire police force on the phone. A federal prosecutor told jurors the men treated Arbery as if he were subhuman. These defendants didn't show Ahmaud Arbery the dignity that a dog deserves when they get hit by a car. And that's an interesting analogy considering they treat their dogs better than they do human beings, especially black people. Federal prosecutor Tara Lyons said in February, that's because these defendants saw Ahmaud Arbery as less than human, she added. And that is the entire article right there. Literally, I really have nothing more that I could add to this except that sayonara, arrivederci. What's the other one? Aloha, because I know that means hello and goodbye. And whatever other ways that you can say goodbye to this POS. I hope his life behind bars is difficult and dangerous. He better see if he can link up with some people that will actually possibly want to be his friend. But it's going to be hard for him because this was a case that literally was all over the place in 2020. I mean, think about it. We were dealing with 4 major things in 2020 as black people. The pandemic, of course, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and last but not least, George Floyd. There were other ones in there as well, but those 4 things right there, it was a lot. And it's crazy because all 4 of them happened around the same time, or at least came out around the same time, because we were still dealing with the pandemic in May. George Floyd was murdered at the end of May, and Ahmaud Arbery's this video came out in May, and Breonna Taylor's case came up in May as well. A lot of stuff just happened in the month of May. But this is one of the few times where they actually got it completely right. And like I said, if there's any more additional stuff to come out about his dad and that William Roddy Bryan, you'll be hearing the violins again. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hit in the video on that note. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like and share the content on your various social media platforms. Hit the subscribe button if you are new and have the bell clicked to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. And also be sure to have your notifications turned on your mobile devices. All links will be down in the description, and I'll talk to you in the next one.